Good morning, grade 7 students! I am here to tackle another lesson in science. Your teacher for today is Teacher Wendilyn G. Mariano. Before we start, remember to get your module, your notebook, to take down important things to be discussed in this lesson. This time, we will discuss about distance, displacement, speed, and velocity. Let's start! Our topic is taken from the most essential learning competency of the Department of Education, which is describe the motion of an object in terms of distance, displacement, speed or velocity, and acceleration. From the mentioned topic, we have three objectives that we used to learn. 1. Differentiate distance from displacement. 2. Give the difference between speed and velocity. And 3. Calculate speed and velocity. Let us now start looking our modules. Study the picture shown. What can we see in the picture? Can you name them? A bus, an airplane, a boat, a bicycle, or a car? What do you think is the purpose of these things? Very good! They are used for transportation. You go from one place to another because of this means of transportation. And you can easily go to your destination if you ride a bus or a car. We will able to know that we are traveling from one place to another because there is motion. So let's define the word motion. Motion refers to the change in position of an object with respect to a reference point. What do you mean by a reference point? Reference point is defined as the origin or starting point for measuring motion. There are two kinds of reference point, the starting point and end point. Distance refers to the total length of the path traveled by an object. These are the keywords that we will encounter as we go through in our lesson. Study this picture. A man travels from their house going to the factory. Consider the curved line, that is the total length of the path traveled by the man going to the factory. That is what we call distance. Did you know that distance is a scalar quantity? Yes. If we say scalar quantity, it only has magnitude but no direction. So, 200 meters is the distance from the man's house going to the factory. Now, let's take a look with the broken line. What can you say about it? That is the shortest distance from the man's house to the factory. It measures only 100 meters to the northeast. That path is what we call displacement. Displacement is the shortest distance between the object's starting point and its end point. Can you identify the man's starting point and end point? The man's starting point is their house and the end point is in the factory. So, the displacement of the man is 100 meters to the northeast. Displacement is a vector quantity because it has a magnitude and direction. Always remember that distance follows the roadmap and it is a scalar quantity that measures only the magnitude, while displacement follows the shortest distance. And it is a vector quantity that measures not only the magnitude but also includes the direction. To know better, let us try this simple problem. Study this picture. How far did the dog go? Question number 1. How far the dog go? In order to know the total distance traveled by the dog, we will add all the distance traveled by the dog. 10 meters plus 5 meters plus 10 meters is equal to 25 meters. So, 25 meters is the total distance traveled by the dog. Question number 2. What is the dog's displacement? Always remember their starting point and the end point. The dog went to the south and it measures only 5 meters. So, the dog's displacement is 5 meters to the south. Now, you already know the difference between distance and displacement. What are other ways to describe the motion of an object? Yes, you're right. We can describe the object's motion in terms of speed and velocity. Now, what is speed? Speed refers how fast or slow the object travels. And speed is a scalar quantity. How about velocity? Velocity is the rate at which an object changes its position. It is a vector quantity. A vector quantity is a quantity described by a magnitude and direction. Always remember that a scalar quantity has magnitude only, while vector quantity has both magnitude and direction. To better understand the speed and velocity, I have here a situation for you to analyze. Anne and Joe are siblings. They are both classmates. Their house to the school is only walking distance. Anne decided to leave the house as early as 6 o'clock in the morning, while Joe leaves 6:15 to go to their school. Both arrive at the same time. The question is, who traveled faster? Yes, you are right. It's Anne who travels faster. Why? Because he travels the lesser time than Anne. Why do you think that Joe has a lesser time? It's because of his speed. That's right. Now, what do you mean by speed again? Speed refers how fast or slow the object travels. For example, a car has a speed of 100 km per hour, and also the plane has a speed of 800 km per hour. But how far do we know the speed of a certain object? Now, it's time for us to calculate for the speed. To compute for the speed, we are using the formula speed is equal to distance over time. Let's have the sample problem. Number 1. Let us find the speed of a car that travels 200 kilometers in 4 hours. The first thing to do is to identify the time and the distance traveled. From this problem, the distance traveled by a car is 200 kilometers and the time consumed is 4 hours. After identifying the given, it is the time for us to compute for the speed. In the formula, you are now divide the distance over time. From the problem, the distance is 200 kilometers divided by the time, which is 4 hours. The answer is 50 kilometers per hour. Now, let's have velocity. Velocity refers to the speed of an object with direction, and the formula is V is equal to displacement divided by time. Always remember that velocity is a vector quantity. That is why direction is always included. So, let's have another problem. Are you ready? So, here is the problem. What is the velocity of an ambulance that travels 450 meters north in 25 seconds? To answer, you have to identify first the displacement and the time. Very good! 450 meters north is the displacement and the time is 25 seconds. You are ready to find now the velocity. To get the velocity, we are using the formula V is equal to small d over t. Velocity is equal to the displacement, which is 450 meters north divided by the time, 25 seconds. What is the answer? That's right, 18 meters per second north. I think we are all set, but before we end the lesson, let's have the summary. Distance and displacement are both used to indicate the length of 2 points. However, distance is a scalar quantity that refers to the actual path covered by an object, while displacement is a vector quantity that refers the shortest path covered by an object. Speed refers to how fast or slow the object travels, while velocity refers to speed's object with the direction. Okay, you are ready for a quiz? I think you are now ready. Let's go! Identify the following statement if it is true or false. Question number 1. Distance is the total length traveled by a moving object. True or false? Very good! The answer is true. Question number 2. Displacement is a vector quantity that has both magnitude and direction. Yes, you are right. The answer is true. Question number 3. Distance is the shortest path traveled between the origin and final position. True or false? You're great! The answer is false. Number 4. A car moves 75 km per hour to the east in 30 seconds is a sample problem of velocity. You're correct. It's true. And for the question number 5, a bus traveled 15 meters per second is an example of speed. Amazing! The answer is true. Congratulations! You got a perfect score. And for now, will you please take note of your assignment? Calculate the speed and velocity of the following problem. Question number 1. Gary threw a volleyball that traveled 10 meters in 3 seconds. Calculate the speed of the ball. Number 2. What is the velocity of a car that travels 52 km north in 2 hours? And that's the end of our lesson for today. Watch out for more exciting topic about grade 7 science lessons. Again, this is Teacher Wendilyn Mariano, your teacher in science. Always remember that it's more fun in learning science.